work I truly put in when nobody was looking, not when the coach had a whistle in his mouth, you know, things. I woke up, got out of my bed, and went by myself and done. And I did that year in and year out, going on 17 years now, so.
You are a walking Hall of Famer. Do you understand that?
The battle in 2019, like, that was my pivot. That if I didn't have that battle, I don't know if I'd be at 37 still going strong. I think I would have been done a long time ago.
You could start to feel invincible. You start to believe what people say about you. When they told you you had cancer, what was your first thought?
$1 billion doctors bet, you know, the reality of it is humans make mistakes.
The one thing we really, truly all have in common is Father Time is undefeated.
In the event that something does happen to me, I've been down that road. I know no matter how successful you is, it's just right around the corner and nobody knows when. I'm preparing myself for this walk. I don't know what's around the corner. I don't know what obstacles I'm going to endure, what potholes in the street. I just gotta prepare myself for this journey. Dealing with negative shit, just like you said, a weaker man would have folded. And like the fact that I didn't fold, the fact that I can walk into that locker room with 0.1% of the world and share this game, like you said, that we all love, it's the biggest blessing in the world.
Hold up, limitless, niggas to me got pinning it. I fought the here to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling, got me up. On the mission, got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. On the vision, I can trust. Limitless, niggas to me got pinning it. I fought the here to witness it. Got my people feeling militant.
The door became a door.
Hey, like you ever seen the mountain on Game of Thrones?
Big mountain.
Yeah,
Demonstration.
He definitely like the mountain on Game of Thrones, for sure.
Why is the shadow there?
Trent Williams, man, 12-time Pro Bowl, 5-time All-Pro, San Francisco 49er left tackle, best left tackle in ball. Fred Taylor, Channing Crowder, Ryan Clark, Pivot fam, thank y'all for pivoting with us. You know, this outfit made me think about something.
Oh, yeah?
There was this Instagram post, right? Young guy, and he's talking about the things I don't want in my offensive lineman. He said, I don't want y'all to have no haircut. He said, I don't want y'all to wear no lotion. He like, don't ever dress cute. He was like, I don't want to see y'all in no nice outfit.
Yes.
No nut. Trent, you do all that though, dog.
I seen that. Yeah, man, shit, I don't think that apply for me. You know, maybe for the big ugly term, but I think, we big guys, man. We got swag 2026, man. You know this shit, man. We having it too, you know what I'm saying?
RC, I got excited because I was thinking before we got started, right? I'm like, damn, what's one thing I can ask him? So I got excited when Tony Baselli would show up and be here. I got excited when you walked through the door, like, boy, 1,800, easy. So I want to ask you though, Trent, like, who gets more excited? You seeing Christian McCaffrey, because he's a dog, or him possibly seeing you available? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? From my standpoint, I get more excited seeing him, because he make my job easy. He make our job as an O-line easy, and he's just so smart. And the way he plays football and the way he approaches work every day, he just, the team has the utmost belief in him, but what he does with the football in his hands is second to none. He's special.
I think he will answer it the way I answer it. To see you show up, hands down, hands down.
Hey, Trent, man, I met you when you was already Trent Williams, right? When I walked into Washington, everybody knew how talented you were. You were a top 5 pick, 4th overall. But were you Pooh in high school? Because I was checking the rankings. You was like the lowest ranked offensive lineman Oklahoma got, bro.
I know.
It was like 4 different dudes that was ahead of you. Like, what was it, man, about coming out of Longview where people didn't see you the way you ended up being?
I think it was really just the size. I was 6'3". Back then, all the tackles were like 6'7" and above. It was the Ogden, the Pace era. So everybody just projected me to work out as a guard. So I honestly wouldn't even project to play tackle, even though I hadn't played guard a day of my life. But they just thought, 6'3", probably be a guard, go to the next level. But, fortunately, guys like Walter Jones came along, Jason Peters, and that kind of shifted how we looked at offensive linemen, and they was more acceptable to the smaller athletic guys. And, that was I kind of hit my stride perfect. It was perfect timing for me. Then once I got to Oklahoma, it was just the rest was history.
Bro, he keeps saying small. Like, what is he talking?
Bro, you are a walking Hall of Famer. Do you understand that? You're a walking. Whenever you
wait,
retire,
wait.
you have 5 years to be a Hall of
What
Famer.
did we
bro.
say?
We don't get to say that no
Bro,
more.
I
Bill
can say it
Belichick
now.
not a Hall
Oh,
of
yeah,
Famer.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
But you talk about because Jonathan Alden was a dude when I was playing.
Yeah.
We're a little older than you. You know, J.O., you talk about all them tackles.
Walter Jones.
Walter Jones, Willie Roaf.
Orlando Pace.
Well, people put hands on me that I was like, man, God, why? You ain't giving me what these people have. But do you know that? Because RC just brought it up. You talking very, very humble. You one of the baddest things ever to line up on that left side.
I appreciate it. I really do. But I mean, that's how I got here, just being humble and just continuing to try to improve on what last year was, and just try not to ever come back the same player. Just always try to come back a better player. So, it's hard for me to kind of look at the thing, look at it right now and say, oh, that's a Hall of Fame career, because, I'm still in it. So.
Well, Jared Verse said you was his welcome to the NFL moment.
Yeah.
He said, Jared Verse said, you put hands on him, right? And he said, he's like, shoot. So when he put his hands on me, first he had an excuse though. He said, first off, we was in a bad defense, right? He's like, I tried to go inside. And he said, then when he grabbed me, he said, I hit him with the chop. He said, then I tried to push him off.
He done swam.
And he said, and then he was laughing at me. How do you look at those sort of moments, man? And the people, obviously you're humble, but the way that commentators, other players, your peers, opposition, competition, the way that they see you, do you ever think about those things and look at what you've accomplished and have a sense of pride in that?
Yeah, I got a huge sense of pride in it because I worked for it. Nothing was handed to me. Even at 37, still being able to play at a high level. It just shows the work I truly put in when nobody was looking, not when the coach had a whistle in his mouth. Things I woke up, got out of my bed, and went by myself and done. And I did that year in and year out, going on 17 years now. So, I know, right? So I have a tremendous amount of pride in it, and I cherish it, man. I know that one day everybody, won't be singing my praise anymore. I know that eventually this window will close. So I just trying to take advantage of, every moment and cherish every moment. And I'm so appreciative of all of it, regardless of how often they come, regardless of who said, man, I'm just super appreciative, super blessed.
Hey, Trent, there'll be a ton of younger players that watch this. And RC alluded to the fact that high school, he said you was poo. I would never say that. But, a lot of players nowadays, they like to hang their hats on the star rankings.
Right,
2-star, 3-star, and they can get discouraged. Yeah. What would you tell them, or when did you realize that you weren't good, but you were elite? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's something you can share with them in their journey?
I was taught at the beginning, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. Yeah. We never freeze frame a 100-meter dash 20 meters in and crown whoever's ahead the winner. So you just gotta run your race, and no rankings, none of that can ever amount to what a human being is and what we can control, we can manifest. I don't think none of that matters, in my opinion. I think as long as you get in that door, as long as you in that locker room, you can have Tom Brady beside you, y'all both putting y'all pants on the same way. You gotta have just as much pride as he do going to work, as you going to do your job. So, I mean, in my opinion, I just think you gotta run your race, you gotta finish, and lean through the tape. That's what I would say.
I'd say this, bro. We've done, over 400 shows now. You sit with all these different people. We were just talking about Mike Tyson before you came in. And when you talk to Mike, you be like, yeah, I ain't really got no win with Mike, so I'm gonna go and let him be, right? We sat with Bud a couple of weeks ago, and he a tiny dude, and you still was like, yeah, shoot, I ain't got no win with him either. I look at you and I'm like, shoot, I know, I see this all the time. I know I ain't got no win. But why you always fighting?
Bruh.
Trent, you'd have put your hand on Rich. You were beating up people against Philadelphia in the playoffs. You just like Anthony Mason. You done been in every San Francisco fight, Trent. The only one you ain't been in was Jawan Jennings. Cause he start fights now. Dog, what's up, Trent? Why you keep putting your hands on people?
Bruh, honestly, that's just like a part of the passion. I don't really mean none of it like in a harmful way, but You know, like, if you look at me, bro, I'm like one of the coolest, probably friendliest dudes you'll ever meet. But it's just like, once once you flip that switch, it's like, you know, I don't really got control over it after that. You know what I'm saying? So I never really like to display that side of it, but I ain't gonna lie, sometimes it just, you know, things happen and I can react faster than I think, you know what I mean? So, I mean, for the kids, you know, I don't wanna say that's a way to go about it, but, you know.
Hey, Chad, you know how you be in the pile and everybody be fighting, and then somebody hit you, and then you turn around and realize it's Trent, and you start fighting somebody else. Hey,
Why you hit me?
hey, Chad, like somebody hit you, right? And you turn around and see it's Trent, you go punch CMC. Bitch. Like, I ain't gonna fight him, but I'm gonna get you.
Somebody.
You want some too, old man?
No.
How is it, because the glory position, running back, receiver, quarterback, and all that, to be, and I'll kiss your ass some more, bro. You play the position at a very high level.
Appreciate
but to be that good at a position that you can't change the game every play. And you, like, how is that feeling when I'm dominating? I'm doing, like you say, do your job, the Bill Belichick shit. Do your job. You doing your job at a very high level, and it ain't turning over for the other 10. But you know that you are a Hall of Fame tackle, but now you got to worry about the guard, the center, the other tackle, the quarterback, the receivers, the running back. How does that feel?
You know, honestly, man, like, RC, you know, being in Washington, like, I was in a lot of situations where, you know, I was handling my business and it wasn't, you know, correlated with the scoreboard. But, you know, I think that's just a part of being mentally tough, you know, because it's not, Williams is on the back of the jersey. You know, when everybody's evaluating you the next year, when they looking at you, it's silent tape. There is no storyline to go with it and say, hey, this team is 2-12 at the time, and, you know, everybody checked out, and so don't look at this film. Like, they're gonna grade it the same way. So I've just always taught, as long as they're iron the skies out there, you gotta have pride in what you put on film. So that's just how I always kind of motivated myself, no matter what the score looked like, no matter what. I just know that, you know, Trent Williams gotta look a certain way when they turn the film on.
Mentioned in Washington, Trent, something different from football. When you get the diagnosis that what was told to be a cyst is cancer, and at this point in your life, you're an all-pro, you've hit a second contract, makes you one of the highest paid people that's ever played the position, and you could start to feel invincible. You start to believe what people say about you.
Right.
And you get that diagnosis, man, and you're sitting there and people are telling you, hey, go talk to your folks. Go make sure the family's good. When they told you you had cancer, what was your first thought?
My first thought, I just thought about my kids. I ain't really think about, like, how it would feel to die, or, like, you know, honestly, my first thought was just like, damn, I ain't gonna be able to, like, see them graduate, like, you know, like, walk them down the aisle. I didn't even think about myself. I could give a damn about myself at that point. My focus was on the kids, like, you know, who gonna step up is, like, who gonna be in my place, like, my brother gonna step up. You know, just thinking about, all right, who can be their next person, their next protector that I know I can trust, even with me not being here. You know, so that's all I was really thinking about that.
I've asked it before to other people that successful, you know, got money, the feeling that money can't solve this.
Yep.
And we all would just wanted to make a bunch of money, because that's what your mama and them complained about back in the day.
Yeah.
Now you got money, and in that situation, money can't solve this.
Nah, money can't bail you out. And, like, when you say, going back to just saying, like, being humble, it's like that's a huge part and a huge reason. Like, I understand that, like, you know, even with me feeling healthy, playing at an all-pro level, being a Pro Bowler, I had cancer, you know, so I never feel like you can get too high, you know, I never feel like you can get too low. Like, you know, we're all humans at the end of the day, no matter what your bank account says, no matter what your last name or first name is. Like, we're all human, and eventually everybody's got to meet their demise, and that's when you come that close to it, you realize, like, yeah, like, shit, I'm still human. None of this shit matter. I can bench 500 pounds, I can squat 700 pounds. That shit don't matter. I can still die like the next person next to me. It's about the same thing, you know. So.
Right, and you talk about trust. You trusted the system, but it failed you, obviously.
Yeah.
They missed some things. What did that experience teach you about, you know, advocating for yourself?
Yeah, like you said, advocating for yourself. I think us as NFL players, I would urge everybody to take your health in your own hands. Like, I know that we have doctors appointed to us, and we think that since we're a part of a $1 billion league, that these are $1 billion doctors. But, the reality of it is humans make mistakes. So doctors are human. So I literally, I don't have any ill feeling towards that staff, the doctors, or anything. I got a lot of love for them. Like, I understand that it was a mistake. What I dealt with was a really, really rare form of cancer. At the end of the day, I could have did more. I could have went outside. I could have did more. So I can't blame nobody but myself, but that's what I would take from it. I would say just take it in your own hands and, get a second opinion, get a third opinion. Like, it's worth it.
So you're a girl dad. If I was a young lady, I would be happy if that was my father. I'd be like, what you gonna do?
She ain't gonna never have a boyfriend.
Man, but
Who your daddy is?
yeah. I'm gonna go with a different prom date. How did seeing your father though, and the way he worked and fought through pain to always show up, how did that affect you and lead you to being the father you are now?
I mean, it's everything. It's a driving force. That's what charged my battery, so to speak. And everything, just watching my dad get up, and just work no matter what. Whether the car was working, whether he was hurting, he lifted weights a lot. He got a lot of arthritis and shit. Like, whatever he was dealing with, man, he found a way to make it to work. And honestly, now looking back on it, knowing what I know as like a man, as a grown man, like, shit, we couldn't have made it if he didn't go to work. I understand now that that's what it means when they say putting your family first, by sacrificing. So when I watch somebody do that my whole entire life, it's like second nature to me, you know what I mean? So it's part of the reason why I'm still out here. Like, I look at it every year is, whatever they pay me, I'm just putting another generation up, and I got, like you said, I got girls. I don't want them having to depend on nobody. And in the event that something does happen to me, because I've been down that road, I know that no matter how successful you is, it's just right around the corner, and nobody knows when. So that's a big driving force.
Yeah, bro. Being the patriarch of a family, was that tough transition for you?
Yeah, it was different. It was definitely different. You go from the baby boy in the family,
Right.
So
You're thrown in that position
Exactly.
with the contracts and all that. We all got thrown in that position.
Yeah, like I say, man, once you get money, you big bro, no matter how old you is. So being the head of the household at a very early age when, I had no experience with that, it was really tough. But, honestly, I just shout out to my parents, like, they did a really good job of not switching the dynamics. Like, honestly, you talk about my dad has never once in 17 years called me and asked for a dime. Like, anything I've done for him, I've done it because I know it needed to be done. Or, so my sister tell me, Daddy, water ain't working, Daddy over here. That's how we take care of him. We send the wellness checks over there because you talk to him, he's gonna tell you everything you wanna hear, Now, knowing how this world works, like, my hats go off to them. Like, I'm really grateful that they kept that in mind and was like, no, I'm gonna still treat him like he my son, and you're not gonna switch this dynamic and make him just carry all the weight of the family.
It does happen sometimes to where immediately when you get that money, everything is on you. Not only to take care of us financially, but decision-making, emotionally, mentally, and you still a young man trying to find your way.
Right.
And we've seen a lot of cats in the locker room where that's affected their career, the weights that their family puts on them in a position where you aren't prepared for it. And so like you said, man, for your parents to say, hey, we're not gonna switch this dynamic. It's not on you to take care of us. That's huge.
Yeah, and also just to add to that before I ask the question, sometimes it takes a certain mindset to welcome, that challenge and that opportunity as well. Like, you seem like the type of person that would say, you know what? God put me in this position. Let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? I welcome this. But I wanted to ask you, do you think about father time much? Because a second ago you said it's just around the corner. And looking at you, 15-year career so far, 12-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro. You've lost in the Super Bowl. RC like to cut the room a lot of times. So both of you guys share that in common. I lost in the AFC Championship game. So have you. So we share that. Channing, talk about his playoff career.
you.
We both played.
Hey, I played there too. I've been there. Yeah, we know.
But no, I guess the question is, the one thing we really, truly all have in common is Father Time is undefeated.
Right,
And
for
that
sure.
day is gonna come. Do you think about that and the fact that things are slowly dwindling down and I might not have as many opportunities, on the back end here as I had at the beginning?
Of course. I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it. But like you said a minute ago, I do welcome challenges. And shit, my challenge is I want to be done when I'm done. I don't want Father Time to tell me I'm done. So that's what I'm working towards, and that's when I'm busting my ass in the weight room, running, doing all that, like that's what I'm thinking about.
Like the Bruce Matthews and all those guys that
Right.
played 20 plus years.
Exactly.
Right. That is dope.
Oh, thank you.
Look at that big old nigga's hand around that little bitty cup.
Tiny, not a small, Chad.
Grab that bitch like a Tic Tac.
Hey, why did you buy him a child size?
I just said the water. Is it good?
Hey, why you bought that man a child size drink?
A lot of men struggle to talk about loss. They have this machismo and this toughness to them, and they kind of just rather be quiet. In your journey, what would you want, like men who struggle with being able to talk about loss, what would you want them to understand about having strength in those vulnerable times?
I'd be lying to say like you should just have it out of nowhere, right? You don't expect to have strength without going to the weight room, right? You don't expect to be in shape without doing some type of cardio. Right. So you can't expect to be strong in a time if you're not, actively working on yourself and working on ways to build that inner strength. Whatever that might be, whether it is working out, whether it's building your relationship with God, whatever that might be, I think you just gotta find a way to continue to build yourself, even in idle times when there's nothing going on, just to know like, I'm preparing myself for this walk. I don't know what's around the corner. I don't know what obstacles I'm going to endure, what potholes in the street. I just gotta prepare myself for this journey. And I think you just gotta prepare yourself.
How much did that make you value the relationship, though, you do have with your babies? You talked about understanding when you got your diagnosis of cancer, it's like, hey, I can be touched. Like, this can go away. How did that affect the way you looked at being a parent to your girls and being there for them and cherishing those moments?
Man, I look at my youngest two, those were, they were post the cancer fight.
Yeah.
So, just like looking at them and like knowing like, damn, like it was this close for them not even to be in existence. And like, so I cherish all of it. I truly do. Like I say, of course, my oldest two, but then just knowing like, how fragile life is and how close my youngest two were, not being here. So that in itself just always made me more of just a grateful parent. I'm not gonna say it just makes me a better person, better dad, where I'm just, on everything. It just, sometimes I just sit back, and I just look at them and it just, all the money in the world, I couldn't buy that feeling that I have when I look in their eyes and just know like they're here. And then like, I know that I give everything for them. I protect them with my life. So I just feel like, as long as I'm here, they're in the best hands possible. And I just thank God for, allowing me to be here.
Just listening to this with your cancer and then your child and everything, the saying that God sends his toughest battles to his baddest warriors. Yeah. So he's laying stuff in front of you that you're getting through because he knows that you built like that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely look at it like that too. I think about that all the time. I just know he wouldn't give me this battle if I couldn't overcome it. So yeah, I'm extremely thankful for that. I do think that certain people in the world are just, we all have what we do great. We all have what we don't do is great. But I think certain people are just touched with like, that spirit that's supposed to spread and like lift people up around them, and it's supposed to be that North Star that people can look to and say, okay, I know I can get through it because he got through it. He's just like me, just a normal dude,
How does being that father figure and having that mindset translate to football and your leadership in the locker room with the younger players?
Man, it's, I talk about it all the time, like to my partners and stuff, but like, it's shit. It's a gift and a curse. No, I wouldn't call it a curse. Like, you know, it demands a lot, especially, you know, at my age. Like, I got a 16-year-old daughter, you know what I mean? So I'm already on that front. Like, you know, football is my escape. When I come in there, I don't got to worry about nothing but, like, the dude in front of me and executing his game plan, you know. But when you go in the locker room, and, you know, at this age, like, I feel like I would be shitting on my blessings if I didn't share some of the stuff that I've went through. Yeah. Because I've had older guys like RC, like Santana Moss, like D'Angelo Hall, London Fletcher. Like, when I first got in the locker room, Chris Samuels. Like, without those guys, like, I really don't know if I would have made the right decisions. You know, they lit a path for me. I ain't gonna say I followed it every time, but they showed me the way to go. And I just wanna give that back, you know? So I'm like the counselor, I'm, you know, business manager, financial advisor, I'm booking private flights. I'm doing it all in the locker room, literally. When I walk through that door, I just gotta wear a lot of hats. But, you know, I love it though, because you can't buy experience, and that's the one thing I do have, and then I can share it.
Yeah, speaking of buying experience though, and being all of those things, you know, there's always that saying like, hey man, like even when the dude wasn't good, you'd be like, shoot, he gonna get off the bus first, right? The San Francisco 49ers are lucky is like their baddest dude also looks like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When, you know how it is, like bro, you're older now, right? You've been doing this for such a long time, and you're the first one walking down the tunnel. They got the dude, he got the music, you rapping, you enjoying it. Do you still have that itch, man, that passion, that fire, that when you walking down there, you understand, hey man, I'm about to get to go play a child's game for a king's ransom. You still have that fire in you and that feeling coming down that tunnel?
100%. Man, every time I even walk to my locker and I see my jersey on them pads and I just, you get that game day feel, like I get a rush. I still get, you know, butterflies, because I'm like, shit, I still remember that in that dark room where he told me to get my affairs in order. And like now, not only am I back, but I'm doing better than I was before I even dealt with that. So, you know, I sit and thank God every time, like damn, like I'm really here. Like it was times where it looked like it was over. I heard a lot of negative things. You know, dealing with negative shit, just like you said, a weaker man would have folded. And like the fact that I didn't fold, the fact that I can walk into that locker room with the 0.1% of the world, you know, and share this game, like you said, that we all love, child's game, that we can get a lot of generational wealth to play, like that's the biggest blessing in the world. Like, you know, the motivation is the last thing that I need when I go in there, and that's what's on my plate, you know?
Yeah, I love that.
Your right-hand man that was always there with you, Debo, when he was there, did you like give him any advice? Because you guys kind of switched roles. Yeah. He's in D.C. now. Yeah. What were some of the first things you told him about, you know, his arrival there?
We just walked into two different situations. You know, his arrival, you know, and my departure, the two staffs were, you know, pretty much night and day. Adam Peters, the GM over there, real good friend, just left the Niners, you know, so I knew he was going into good hands. And, you know, obviously with Jaden there, the quarterback, I mean, you know, he's probably going to be, you know, one of those people we talk about for a long time. Yeah. So I just thought that he was going to a better situation. I just kind of, you know, updated him on the city and stuff, where to go. It's a nice place.
Because me and Chan, we were walking over to get ready for this, and the lady was screaming at Chan. She was screaming at him down the street.
I argue with Bumps. If you gonna yell at me, I'ma yell back. We can argue all day if you want.
In this city, man, just to think about San Francisco, like pre-pandemic, just beautiful and thriving, and it's awful to see kind of how things have evolved since then. Yeah. You know, in just comparison and talking to him about the city, because Chan said, look, none of my boys that play for the Niners say, hey, yo, come out to San Fran, let's hang out. But if you were in D.C., like, yo, come through.
Look, slide to Miami, slide to New York, slide even L.A. Like, my homeboys always want me to come, hang with them. No one's ever said, come to San Fran. In my whole life, bro. I'm 42 years old.
You don't understand. I had so many people in for the Super Bowl. Hey, man, where we go? Hey, where I take my family? I have no clue, bro. I go to work, I go home and DoorDash food. Like, bro, I I ain't never once been active out here. I don't know what the fuck going on. So I'm the wrong person to ask.
Because this is for both of you guys. Because I saw something pop up a couple weeks ago. Stephon Diggs said he spent $1.25 million or whatever on people to come to the Super Bowl. Shit. Is that like even a real number?
No, that's. I mean, it could be a real number. I don't have that many people that have been supportive enough to come to a Super Bowl that I'm gonna spend that type of money.
Yeah, that's like one whole section of the stadium.
They must need a house, like a different type of house to stay in. I do have this question, man, because, I've talked about it on the show. I'd rather not go to the Super Bowl than go to the Super Bowl and lose it.
Yeah.
And obviously,
100%.
they have never been there.
That
so
sounds crazy.
So we have this conversation. When at least in my opinion, nobody walks into a Super Bowl, Trent, thinking about losing. Never once in 2 weeks, bro, did we ever have a conversation. What happens if we lose? All we talked about was winning. How we gonna win, how we gonna execute the win, and what it's gonna feel like when we win. Yeah. When you guys are right there, bro, like right there, man, and that scoreboard hits, it wasn't even zero, right? When that scoreboard is done and you see that you don't have more points than the Kansas City Chiefs, what are you feeling walking off that field, bro?
Ooh. Hey, it's funny you said that. I tell people all the time, I'd rather not go than to go and lose, because the pain of losing, that shit lasts for months. Man. That shit lasts for months. Like, I was under a rock for 3-4 months, like literally. I didn't even want to be seen in public. I didn't want to see no Instagram posts. I didn't want to see no Twitter. I actually found peace because I got off of all social media. My phone was as dead as it's ever been, and just, I was able to heal properly. It was surreal. Like, I didn't even realize it was over. I seen the touchdown, and I'm thinking like, damn, it couldn't have ended just like that. And then I ain't lie, I see Andy Reid running on the field. I said, oh shit, it's over with. And I literally, bro, I took my helmet off and I threw it as far in the air as I could possibly throw it. So I probably threw it like 50 feet in the air. And then I dawned on me like, oh shit, that could kill somebody. So I'm literally like trying to fucking catch my helmet. And then I went in and I'm like, yeah, this shit, bro, this shit was just, it was the worst pain ever.
Yeah, and they don't understand too. No, just not even saying that in a disrespectful way.
But it's crazy for y'all to say that you'd rather not go and lose.
Chad, you understand though, nobody in the organization plans to lose. You still gotta go like they're still a party. Yeah. Like they're still a performer. Although, Chad, the rest of the world goes on as if you won it, but you.
But you.
See, I rock with y'all. That would be the one moment I would rather just be hard-headed, because I would rather want to experience it. Like they tell you, you can see things and say, like a drug addict, you shouldn't do that, because you know what the outcome can potentially be.
Right.
We see people losing the Super Bowl. It happens every year, right? But it's just like that would be the one time in life I would want to experience it, just to say I got close to the mountaintop. Then I deal with whatever the outcome is. But then again, who knows?
Trent, did y'all feel like, as a collective group and you individually though, did you feel like by getting there and losing, you let people down?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, obviously we let our fans down, and that's any time we lose. But no, I wouldn't say I let anybody down with my damn self, for real. Yeah. Like, honestly, I really thought about my earliest thoughts of the Super Bowl and like being in, I hate to say it, but like being in Washington, like winning a Super Bowl was a dream. Like, it wasn't even that obtainable. Like, you never even won a wild card playoff game, let alone like thinking about a Super Bowl, right? Yeah. But I used to just, any times I would go to Super Bowl weekend and see the festivities or whatever, or watch it on TV, I just always think like, God, I just want to be there. I just want to be a part of the weekend, no matter if I win or lose. And I used to always say that shit, and as soon as I lost, I was like, man, that's my fault. I've been manifesting that shit my whole career, bro. And I got there and lost, and that shit was the worst pain ever. And I was just like, I learned the lesson at that point.
I bring up Jonathan Ogden because I tell the story when we rush. Like, they'll send a blitz when I played, and if I'm rushing, we used to look over to the linebacker coach, George Edwards, and he'll tell you the move that's most effective against that tackle. Mm-hmm. And I was playing J.O. in Baltimore, And I looked at the coach and he shrugged his shoulders. And that what, bro, this, you know what I'm saying? Like you look at the coach, bro, this is spin, this is up and under, this is speed, this is jet,
Yeah.
And I looked over when I was rushing on J.O. and he shrugged his shoulders. And I said, Coach, what does that mean, Coach?
I don't know that move.
I don't know that. I don't know this move. Like, but to be a dominant tackle, when do you feel dudes just tap out? Where they line up, but they know they ain't get home. You know they ain't get home. Y'all just brother-in-law during the game.
Yeah. You know what? That's the most satisfying part. You know, when you look across they huddle and they tell the other one, hey, switch.
I want this shit
That's when I know I got him.
Yeah.
If he asking to switch, like, all right, I know I got him. Then
How
he
often
can
does
win.
that happen? When you know they don't want this no more.
I mean, it's more often than not, honestly.
Really?
Because he's talking about dominance, Trent. We all, like, I tell him when I finally got to meet him, I was like, bro, you were one of the best players I ever played in my life. I was like, when you were playing Jacksonville, it didn't matter their record, your record. You knew when they turned around and handed the ball off to Fred Taylor, you had hell on your hands. And we were number one defenses consistently. You've continuously been at the top of your game and the game at your position. But who are some of those rushers, man, throughout your career? You were like, nah, today, like, he like me. Like, he one of them ones, too. I got to be at the top of my game.
Shit, it's funny when you said that story about J.O. I had a similar story when I was a rookie, and my first game was against DeMarcus Ware, the Cowboy, like DeMarcus Ware, and then I think it was Mario Williams, and I remember I didn't watch film. I had too much pride to really watch film because in college I could just line up and block people. I credit D. Ware because he changed the way I looked at football. He made me go back and start studying people. Mm-hmm. It was a chess match with him, and every move was just really setting up the next move, you know. And so I finally started to study this one cat that I watched him embarrass people my entire life. As long as I known what football and linemen blocking somebody is, I watched him embarrass people. It was Dwight Freeney, right, with the spin move, right? So I studied this cat, I studied him. And I started to figure out, okay, when he spin, he gonna throw that inside hand before he spin. It's gonna help him. It's basically clearing your hands before you spin. Mm-hmm. So I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm sitting here losing sleep about it. I was like, when I see the hand, I'm gonna just jump to the inside. And I went out there. I remember before the game, I'm not really having faith in my own game plan, because I never done it before. I'm like, this nighttime, Sunday night football, so. I go to my coach first, and I say, hey, you got anything for me? How help me, block this dude, anything. He looked at me, he said, bro, I don't got nothing. He said, I have no idea.
He gave you that
He
shrug.
bro, if you can't do it, ain't nobody else over here gonna do it. So shit, your best is our best.
Yeah.
So that I got I've been forced through the fire. I've had all those guys that got on gold jackets right now.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, you lined up across a guy like Myles Garrett. It's you know that your work's cut out for you. It ain't gonna be no him tapping out or no shit like that. Both our pride's too big. You feel like you the king of the jungle. I feel like I'm the king of the jungle. Yeah. Saying two mouths might never meet, but two men gonna cross paths at some point. So we.
That's a big dog statement. I ain't never heard that.
Damn.
You say your best is our best, and obviously you're still one of the best. We all see your resume, the younger players, right? But we don't see the daily grind. Like last year, you played 16 games, year 15, still being able to be elite and do it. What is it about the daily grind that you do that you're able to share so that maybe any player that have the mindset that they want to do what you're able to do? Like what you're doing, that they can get there.
Man, you gotta work. And I know it sounds cliche, but the greatest investment I made, and I ain't make really no money off of it, but the gym. Me and Adrian Peterson opened up a gym about 11, 12 years ago. That has gave me a place to go and sharpen my tools at any time of the day. I've just taken advantage of it. I've seen how it's allowed me to progress, allowed me to stay on the field, allow me to be explosive, be flexible, be all of these things at my age. It's because, I put the work in. That's what I would tell anybody is you only gonna get out what you put in, right? And if you can't separate the club and all the shit between the work, then you're not gonna last long. It's okay to have fun. It really is. But you get 24 hours in a day, you got to make sure 2 hours of that goes to what's really putting food on the plate, and that's football, and that's sharpening your tools. So that's what I would say. Cause like my day to day is easy. It's mentally taxing, but like physically it's easy. It's easy. I put the work in all summer. When I come to work, this shit is fun. Like this shit is what I've been waiting on. This is what you chomping at the bit for in June and July and in April. Like you ready to get this shit kicked off. So when I get to work, shit, that's my happy place. I'm happy to be there. I can do that shit all day.
I tell people all the time, one, preparing for the game is what retired me, not the game, right? Game days didn't retire me.
Yeah.
Preparing for game days is what you paid me for. The game I gave them for free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
100%.
Yeah, the game was for me.
Yeah, the game.
You know what I'm
was for
saying?
me,
Practice and training, like that's what you had to pay me to do. I talked to Kyle, man, for like 20 minutes at the Pro Bowl. You were over there talking. And I told him, I walked up to him, I was like, it's the best coaching job I've ever seen. For an offensive coach to lose player after player, to lose your quarterback, top 3 receivers down. It was like, you was gonna have Trent, it could have been Mac Jones, it was Brock Purdy, and Christian. Like that's what we knew, right? What can you say about the job Kyle was able to do this year, man, that got you guys to the divisional playoff round with the amount of people on both sides of the ball? Fred Warner is the U of linebackers, and he's gone. Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. With the amount of people y'all were missing, man, what can you say about the job Kyle was able to do this year?
While we were on that same sideline, I told him, I was like, I don't understand how you don't win Coach of the Year. I get it. Braves and
Liam Cohen.
Yeah, they did it. They all did a really good job, but they all had their nucleus. Drake May is, could be the MVP.
Yep.
I just look at it, he's done the most with less. If you was to say that we would go win a Super Bowl or even win a playoff game against the defending champions, down those names you just mentioned, what would San Francisco even be winning, or even like winning a Super Bowl without those guys? Like what does that even do? Like, my brain can't even process that. Like, I don't even know what that looks like. So the fact that he made us competitive, the fact that we believed that we could go win a Super Bowl, like we literally, he made us believe. And it's not because of what we had in the locker room, but it was because what we had in the coach, because of how he broke down the game and how he, just understood his team and when to give days off and when to push us through the times when we want days off. And he got a keen understanding for like how to treat a locker room and like not sweating the small shit, but like making sure everybody is accountable and making sure that we all play with that same intensity. And if you don't, you're gonna get called out, and he ain't gonna MF you in front of everybody. He's gonna do it in his own way, but it makes you feel like, damn, like I'm letting them down.
I need to be accountable.
Not so much, well, I'm gonna do it so he don't yell, but it's like, damn, I'm gonna do it because I don't want to let him down. I know he's put his everything into this. I know he trusts me with this. Like I want to pay him back by being productive and executing his game plan.
I love that, bro.
And that's what he instills in us. I tell people, you can ask, like me and Christian had the same conversation, but like I came here a 10-year vet. Like I learned more just in that 30-minute team meeting that we had with Cal, breaking down the next opponent. Like, I learned more football in that time than I did the previous 10 years, And you can ask anybody, they'll tell you the same thing. He teaches you about, the way he breaks it down is literally like something you've never seen, like down to like how the cornerback, like where his weight is, and just the way he diagnosed football is really, I hate that everybody can't witness it. I hate that everybody can't, because then it would be no question who's the best coach in the league. Everybody would understand why. I hate that we the only ones that get to see that, but I can sit here and talk about Kyle all day. Like, that's like a brother to me,
I got it. Does he still surprise you? do you walk in because, like you're saying, C-Max out, or now you got to go from Purdy to Jones, whatever happens, and you walking with the game plan, and you see what he puts up there, and you be like,
yeah, because
he still surprise you to this day.
It's times where like even like me as the guy that's seen everything, we'll get that first 24, first 24 plays of the game we script. And like we'll just look at each other like, oh, he on some shit this week. Like, okay, he in his fucking bag. Like, and that's like what Christian would say, like, man, he in his fucking bag this week. I be like, damn, like now you can see it because now I got a better grasp on the whole offense.
Mm-hmm.
I understand now what he's setting up. Like we would run a play that he know ain't gonna get but 2 or 3 yards, but he running it so that the next time he show you this play, it can bust for 20 yards, and you're gonna think that all right, you know how the defense get. Like we stopped this one play, I know it's coming again. Like yeah, I'm trying to be fair. We gonna get in the backfield this time, and that's the time we over the top. And you see the little shit, the little nuances that he's trying to show you. He really it's like it's mental gymnastics, and he just trying to put that your core defense, your middle linebackers, your safety, he just trying to put them in flux 24/7, and where you just can't make a decision without hesitating because you don't know if it's going to be right or wrong once you get to the fourth quarter when you done been hit with all these counters. And so now when we go back to that play that would give us 2 yards, now it's giving us 5 or 6 because you don't want to give up 20. You know what I'm saying? That shit is just like it's like a carousel,
Chestnut checkers.
Exactly, it's chestnut checkers. Real shit.
Hey, Trent, we always ask our guests their biggest pivot in life. That's that one moment you can look back on and say, because this happened to me or for me, I am who I am today.
I mean, I think we know what mine is. Just the battle in 2019, like, yeah, that was my pivot. That if I didn't have that battle, I don't know if I'd be at 37 still going strong. I think it would have been, I think I would have been done a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, man, every day you play, bro, every day you continue to do what you do at such a high level, you inspire people. I know it's gonna be people look at your story and say, man, if he was able to beat that in 2019 and continue to be this even 7 years later, then there is hope for me. There's ability for me to do that, bro. I mean, we're trying to get this done a long time, fam.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. Yeah. I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, top 3 athletes I've ever played the game with, Trent Williams is one of them, man. So can't wait till you get the gold jacket, but I do hope you get a ring before that.
Oh, yeah, me too.
My dog.
I'll be there. I'll be in Canton.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I respect the big ones.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
Hold up, limitless, niggas stomach got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Limitless, niggas stomach got pinning it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.